I was so excited about all the things I wanted to accomplish on this Thursday workday that I couldn't fall asleep last night. And so now it's 9:30 and I'm just getting out here. Eric has already harvested the tomatoes. I've got him busy taking the leaves off the tomatoes, and then he's going to spray. Meanwhile, you and I are going to have a chat. If you're new to my channel, I have a small edible cottage garden, mainly in my front yard in Los Angeles. I converted the bushes and grass, aka weeds, in 2012, and I haven't looked back. I created 100 episodes of the award-winning series Late Bloomer. Once everyone started blogging, so did I. Since the 100th episode of Late Bloomer, which was the Desert Super Bloom last year, I have created another 200 and something videos. These cover not only my growth as a gardener, because I started from scratch 2012, didn't know anything, not only covers the growth of my garden, the development of my garden into a jungle, but also other gardens in Southern California, the country, and in Europe. I have so much varied content. I'm sure you'll find something you like and you will want to subscribe. Now, Eric has been very busy since he got here, and he has harvested the tomatoes for the week. And there is a small basket of passion fruit. Now, if you've never grown passion fruit, and this is my first time, so I'm just learning, the vines produce copious amounts of these little oval, hard fruit that are kind of plum colored. When they turn this color, they fall onto the ground, and you take them inside and you leave them on your counter for a few days until they kind of shrivel up. And then you cut it open and scoop it out and put it in all sorts of various foods, like smoothies or desserts. My friend Chris Towerton in Sydney, Australia, says he could eat 20 of those in a sitting. Just I've yet to try it this year. I've given all the ones that have fallen off away so far. If you've been following my channel for at least the last 7 months, you know that I had a bad accident last Christmas Eve, trying to have a little fun. Crazy idea. And broke my arm, my first broken bone in my life, which I think is saying a lot, considering I've been very active and played basketball in high school. So as soon as I felt better, which was in June, I took off to see my mother. I hadn't seen my mother since last September. I had to see my mother. And, you know, as long as I'm in Tennessee, Virginia is just 5 hours away, so might as well see my other brother. I have 2 brothers. One is in Nashville, where my mother is, and the other one's up in Abingdon, and has a very active outdoor life there. He is a biologist for the state of Virginia, and he spent most of his career on the water or studying the waters and what's in the waters and what's growing around the waters. Well, as I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, I picked up a pinched nerve in my back from all that driving, which just hasn't gotten better because I have a tendency, the moment I feel better, to jump in and do work and cannot sit around. Ironically, the thing I need to be doing most is editing, and that's what hurts the worst. So I've got to take it easy, and please be patient while I recover, and I will roll all of this content out as I'm able to get it edited. Every now and then I answer a viewer question, and I've had a few questions about Eric's garden. Now, Eric is my garden helper, and he works here on Thursday. So I created a series called Thursday Workday, which you will see in my playlist has been changed to Garden Workday because Thursday Workday is not as good a term for search engines and for YouTube to know what to do with this playlist. So, but you and I know that's what this is, Thursday Workday. Eric lives in an apartment with his wife and 3 children, and he works 6 days a week in other people's gardens and ranches and does a variety of kinds of work. I am the only property where it's a micro farm, and he gets to work with vegetables on a weekly basis, and I just think he loves that. So he doesn't have time or space for a garden. Now, he's been invaluable, especially since Christmas, because there have been weeks I haven't been able to do anything with my injury. I have to refer to my notes because there are pages here. The lemon verbena is the most outstanding plant in my garden right now. And if I had a half an acre, I would let it get as big as it wants to get. But because we're cramped for space in this tiny little biodiverse, compact cottage garden, densely planted, it has to be cut back. You know, with this string of health issues that I've had, it kind of is a daunting prospect to think about more traveling. I came back from Europe last August and I could barely walk on my knee. I got a steroid injection, which had to be the most painful shot I've ever had in my life. I levitated up off of the bed and I think I screamed, but it went away. I mean, it calmed down and I have been able to function, and I'm just kind of watching that knee, not dipping too deep, not lifting too whatever. But then there was the injury at Christmas. This was a major derailment. In both of these instances, I'm very grateful for Western medicine. But Western medicine has its limits. It can diagnose, it can prescribe medicine, it can prescribe physical therapy, order tests, give injections. But beyond that, it's a little limiting. So I'm very grateful that there are alternative forms of medicine, because the spine is like a highway from your brain to every part of your body, and it sends all the signals, and it really needs to be in alignment for you to be functioning well. So for my spine, I am seeing a chiropractor, because no doubt those weeks, months in a sling probably messed up my back, and I just didn't know how badly out of alignment I was until I was driving on that windy coal miner's highway with no shoulder, 2 lanes through the mountains. Oh yeah, I was a little tense when I got to Ashland. All right, well, we need to get busy. I've talked long enough. Ooh, that smells so good.
Yeah.
Do you need more containers like this?
One more time. Here.
So this is my lemon verbena bush, and Eric cut this back. Can you see where the cuts were? I think this was about...
Right here.
You see the cut?
See? The old cut.
The old cut was not even 3 feet tall, and all of this jumped out of all of that pruning. You see what it does is it puts out a branch like this, and then it puts up branches all along the branch. So then you've got 10 more branches. And it smells incredible. It smells so beautiful. but it's too much. It's covering up everything. I really hate to cut it back when it's blooming, but it blooms a lot.
We keep it for
Yeah, we can keep
its couple
some
of
small branches, you know, some tender branches for tea.
Okay, if you want to plant in this, you can cut it an angle 45 like that. You can take all the leaf out and just stick it in the ground. Like just stick it like that. Okay?
And it'll grow.
And there we go. Easy way.
The crimson clover must be breathing a sigh of relief. Can you take 5 minutes and clean up those bean leaves?
Yeah, sure.
These are the purple burgundy beans that I got from Redwood Seeds, and they produced probably 4 or 5 pounds out of this raised bed, this 3x6 raised bed already. They're supposed to produce all summer, but now the leaves look terrible, and I think there's a lot of bug damage. It's still blooming, and there's still beans on there, so I'm keeping it for now. Just gonna clean up the worst looking leaves. I prefer to cut these off to keep from damaging the vines, but just couldn't get it in here before with the lemon verbena. That is the green southern stink bug, the adult version. And you just saw the juvenile version on my hand before. It's all black. It's basically that black section right there becomes bigger and greener. And here we have a caterpillar. Eric and I have cleaned up the bean bed. And when you take the leaves away, you see a lot more beans. That's probably a couple of pounds. Oh, good. You start to see the walkways. Sometimes leaves are good as mulch, and sometimes all they're doing is dropping fungus down into the soil to come back. It's really hard to believe that we cut all that back 3 months ago. And now this fig branch is kind of in the way. Maybe we need to stake this up. Look, maybe you can tie it up. Just tie it up higher. You're gonna need to tie it in 2 places, I think, because that's really heavy. You have more tape, right?
Let me put it here.
Yeah. Can you get more tape?
Much better.
Yes.
This,
Okay.
like that. See?
Well, we can do that because those tomatoes are almost done. Oh, good grief. It's always something. Well, I hate to tie that one because that one's never had a chance to spread out. We just need to clean up those tomatoes. See if that tomato's ripe. I bet it's ripe. It's probably a green tomato.
It's good. See, it's split it.
Oh,
It's good.
you think?
It's too late.
That one over there too. I think these are the green tomatoes. Eric. Is that one bad too?
Bad.
Yeah. That one there?
Oh, that one, yeah. This is ready.
Okay.
This is good.
This is a corner you don't usually see because we couldn't get in here Now we've done a lot of cleaning out. Over here we have the piquin pepper. We still have the problem, but there's a lot of new growth on here because I chopped it back 2 feet.
See, already. See? Oh, nice.
Great. What about that one down there? So low.
Yeah.
Okay. What about, oh my goodness. What about that other one hanging down low over there?
There?
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay.
Very, very nice.
Good for today. Beautiful. And I think you should take all these 4 o'clocks out of here.
This one.
Yeah. And that way we have this whole huge bed to plant something in. And if you're watching on mobile, which 55% of you are, be sure and check out my community page posts, which will appear in your feed. If you enjoyed this video, maybe you'll enjoy these. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit that face of that pretty girl up there. Oh, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.